I say it sounds to me very similar to the first one in a wider mode. Over. Yeah, I don't see much difference, and they're both more intelligible on the wide mode. M3WZ4G QRT. Charlie Tango Echo calling for equipment. Charlie Echo, go ahead. Charlie Tango Echo. Very quick one, just whatever you just want. Yeah, good signal over here. Seeing you right now about S7 or maybe S8, and the audio sounds crisp and clear. No problem at all, and thank you very much for the shout. I'm running a vertical antenna here today with about 1 kW, and the antenna is mounted 30 feet offshore on the boat dock. So back to you there. Italy 5, Charlie Tango Echo, WZ4G. Roger, WZ4G, I5CT here turning. Thank you very much for the report. And you have a loud...
Okay, thank you, my friend. November 4, Bravo Whiskey, Echo Alpha 7, Julia Whiskey Foxtrot. My name is Tony, Tango Oscar, November Yankee. This is my city, Cordoba, Spain. November 4, Bravo Whiskey. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for contact 73. Bye-bye.
Kilo 4, Golf Victor Hotel. This is Mike, Italy 0, Tango Lima Golf. Operator name is William or Bill. Location is the city of Lisburn in County Antrim. So Robert, lovely to get you. I'll give you a signal and audio report on the next over. Kilo 4, Golf Victor. Yeah, okay on that, Robert. I'm fine in the white stick, operator. Lovely to get you in here. You're also 5 and 9. You're talking to me here from Northern Ireland, from the city of Lisburn in County Antrim. So, Robert, you are 5 and 9 into Northern Ireland. Yes, so? Yeah, well, it's located on the island of Ireland, but it's very close to Belfast. QSO? Good here tonight, no doubt about that, and your 100 watts of power and your dipole is doing the business. I'm running an FTDX 5000 MP. We're running a big, large loop antenna. It's a quarter of a mile long, 50 feet in the air. Feed it with a 4-to-1 current balun. Thick coax into a Palstar HF auto tuner. Okay, Robert, I'm going to wish you 7-3. A few other guys wanting to call here, so I'll wish you 7-3. Lovely to get you in here tonight from Virginia. But it is 10:30 in the evening. It's almost dark, Robert. Give me his call again. Kilo 1. Repeat his call again. Okay, it's Kilo 1 Hotel Tango Bravo. Is that right? Yep, I'll look it up and I'll get it. I'll get his address and such what, and I'll send him the card. Your card, the card you care for. Okay, 100%.
Step right up, don't be shy. Nobody likes a blubberhead. Welcome to the K1GMM 3-Ring Circus. Lock your kids in the closet and grab some popcorn. Enjoy the show. Now, your host, the Maniac.
What's up? I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Greetings. Hemlings. What's up, you guys? I'm going to make some noise here. Pardon the racket. Gotta slide this out of the way. There we go. That's better. What are we going to do? I think this is going to be fairly short. But I've got a 2-inch piece of PVC. And I've got an entire roll of paper towels that I have basically put in my mouth and moistened, and I jammed it into that 2-inch PVC for a spitball of epic proportions. Yeah. I have been listening around on the bands, well, for a long time. I was listening this morning. And what's the common thread on the bands during the day? Man, the bands suck. They suck. QSB is horrific. I watch the bands literally go flat. I call it the pancake. Like, it looks like this. Let me see if I can, yeah. Here's 10 meters. 10 meters. Let me get over here. There's the pancake, folks. That's the pancake. Anyways, I was talking to a friend of mine. You guys know who he is. Hey, Ron, how's it going? Yeah, Ron, I screwed it up. I forgot to load it. So I was working on getting it going, and it popped up onto the screen, on the wrong screen, which went to the stream. Duh. So they're actually old intros, but I was kind of knocking around. I was like, you know what, dude? At least make an effort. Put a little bit of production value into it. You know, so there you go. Anyways, what was I saying? So I've been hearing guys say, yeah, the bands suck during the day, and I'm on 80 meters in the morning, and once D-layer, once the sun starts coming up and D-layer starts mirroring up, so to speak, and the band tightens up. Excuse me. I mean, it gets really squirrely, and then it just goes to hell, right? So goes into the normal situation on 80 meters during the day, because everybody knows 80 meters short during the day, right? D-layer is not allowing any signals to get through to the F layer. So it's tight. We all know that. Well, what about the shorter wavelengths? Let's say 40. That's not really short, but 40 meters, especially 20 meters and up, right? I mean, it's a freaking pancake here. By about 9:30 in the morning, sorry about that, the sun is fully up and it's pretty much closed. Now, I live in the northeastern part of the United States, way up here. Canadian border is only, I don't know, 90 miles from me, 100 miles, air miles. So, that's what I thought, Ron. Maybe people are working, but see, that doesn't compute with me. All right. because I remember before we hit the bottom of cycle 24, I spent a lot of time on 40 meters. I get on 40 meters, 20 meters. Oh man, it was freaking rocking. And the SFI was on a downward slide, right? SFI was probably 120, 130. Now, when I got in the hobby in 2015, the SFI was 150. I'll tell you where I'm going with this. And this is the spitball coming. The SFI was 140, which is technically poor to moderate conditions. Oh, come on. She's stomping on the freaking floor upstairs. I'm going to have to go. All right, hold on. So I was actually nice about it. I actually used the word please. Good grief, man. Anyways, where was I? So back in 2015, I spent every day. Yeah, she doesn't need me, dude. I need her. I need her. She's the one that keeps me alive, man. That's why I got to be nice. Anyways, 2015, I got in the hobby. August, I was licensed in August, and I had a little 10-meter rig. I'll give you a little history. I don't know if it's relevant, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. So I spent all my time on 10 meters. SFI was 140. I used to track this because I came out of the chicken band. And I was heavily into solar weather propagation, stuff like that. Every day I tracked what was going on. It was, I couldn't do anything wrong. I was running a 4-element hybrid Moxon, 70 watts out of an Anytone Quad 6 on 10 meters. Freaking killing it every freaking day. Every day from August. The band fell out in November. Never came back. 10 meters. Never came back. And, what I considered coming back, right? Where you could basically take 50 watts, throw it out there, and you can work anywhere in the world. I was doing it from this hole, right? It was good. Yeah, we had our occasional geomagnetic storms and stuff, and sometimes if they were severe, it would screw the bands up for, a week to 10 days. If it was severe enough, like an K5 or higher, sustained over a 3-day period, it would screw the bands up for 7 to 10 days in the northern part of the northern hemisphere. Close to the equator, it would come back within 3 days, 3-4 days, right? So, hey, Mikey. Commie New York City. Yeah, I feel for you, dude. Hey, Paul, how's it going, man? Good to see you. And so, how many of you remember the CQ Worldwide last October? I remember that. I didn't work it. But I lit the radio up and I looked at 10 meters, and I'm telling you, man, it was on fire. It was wall to wall. I'd never seen 10 meters like that. Keep in mind, I've only been in the hobby since 2015, but I did really good on 10 meters. All of my 100 DXCC came in like a matter of a week. I kid you not, on 10 meters. It was stupid. Stupid. And no power, no amplifier, just a decent antenna, so... I mean, that was gangbusters last October. 10 meters has not been open like that here at this QTH again since last October. What the frick is going on? I watch at 9:30 in the morning, I watch the band start to fade. I go to 20 meters, pancake, 17 meters, pancake, 15 meters, pancake, 12 meters, pancake, 10 meters, pancake, pancake. Nothing. At times, I have seen only one signal on 40 meters. And those signals used to be 20 to 30 over, and that's the net control for e-cars, right? E-cars is the East Coast Amateur Radio Service, for those of you not in the States or on the West Coast that aren't familiar with that. A couple of the net controls for e-cars are big stations. They throw out a whomp of a signal. They have to, and they got great ears. They hear everything. And they're at best an S8 in here, and they're normally 20 over. So that's 20 dB of attenuation on the band. Okay, so don't tell me that that there's nobody on the band, okay? With the people I see on the band that I know what the signal should be, yeah, there's 20 dB of attenuation, if not more at times. It's closed. The band is, so let's say you go to QRZ or someplace, and you see that stupid little chart there. It tells you what bands, the conditions for each band. Poor. Well, yeah. Now, I've been thinking, listening to all these people say, yeah, the bands suck, and yeah, they do suck. However, they're open at night. So last night I had a nice yacker with, I don't know the guy's name. It was really, really unusual name, from Romania, for like a half hour. And this was 6, 7 o'clock. So I notice, so think about the Earth's rotation, okay? Keep this in mind. The Earth is turning, right? Rotating, whatever. If you're a flat earther, the sun's going up and going down, okay? Whatever. I know there's a lot of flat earthers out there. Anyways, later in the day. So let's say so it is 5:45 right now. So I have been noticing, right on schedule, oh yeah, there's not a lot of signals, but the signals are pretty good. And there's signals coming out of Europe on 20 meters. And there was a good signal you guys were listening to coming out of Europe on 17. Now I can tell you 20, 17, 20 and up is a pancake all day long. So what's causing this? How could you have an SFI? Now keep in mind, in 2015, the SFI was 140 when I got in the hobby. Go look it up. And let's say the K index is a 2. The A index is a 10. For those newcomers that are new to the channel, new to the hobby, I should say, don't know what that is, go check it out. I'm not going to explain it to you right now. All that information is online. You can get it. Let's just say hypothetically that the SFI is 160, right? I'm working all over the place on 10 meters. All over the freaking world. Can't do anything wrong. I spent 6 hours a day from August to November. I was a lunatic back then. Out of a 24-hour period, I would say I was on the radio 6 hours a day. Mostly doing no hit and runs, but rag chewing. But man, I got 100 countries in like snap of a finger. It was stupid. Just on 10 meters. It was stupid. From this location, which says something, because I am as you guys know, I'm in a horrifically deep hole. I'm in a canyon here. So low angle DX doesn't work here. 5 to 15 degree elevation angle on an antenna does me nothing here. I need, just going northeast towards Europe, I need about 35 degrees. Take ground wave out of the equation, right? So going west, I need over 60 degrees elevation angle just to go over the crest of Dorset Peak, which is behind the house, which is just shy of 4,000 feet, and I'm at 500 feet in elevation. Yeah, the reason why I know that is because I used to do work a lot of linear satellites and some FM, and I know the elevation angle I need on the beams to actually hit the bird coming across. Once it gets over the top of that mountain, it's gone. I can't hit it. So It must be the dog running across the floor upstairs. So, okay. So, you take into account all this stuff. And I know this is a lightning rod, right? What I'm talking about. But I'm going to throw something at you. Did a little research today. I don't know how many of you, I'm looking for a reason why this is happening. Now, I know, and I have seen this, even being in the hobby this short a period of time, conditions are always better in the fall. And there's a variant of reasons for that, I believe. One is the noise issue. We have a lot of thunderstorm activity, and I can see 20 meters right now hopping. So if I go over here, let me just show you. Okay, this is 20 meters. If you watch that pan adapter, see that hopping? Those are thunderstorms stateside here. I'm not on the 2-element loops, so I'm basically going both ways, northeast, southwest on a multi-bender right now. So you see those little hops in there, and if you listen to it, which I'm not going to turn it on, you can hear like the the lightning striking. So yeah, summertime is noisy, right? That's why everybody who plays on the longer wavelengths, like 80 meters, 160, I mean, those are wintertime bands. If you're going to run 25 watts on those bands, you can do it at S9 plus, sometimes plus. I've seen it. I've actually done it by accident. I put out like a few milliwatts, and people actually heard me on 75, 80 meters in the middle of an ongoing QSO. So yeah, you don't need power at certain times of the year. The only time you need power is to get over the noise floor, right? Summertime's incredibly noisy on those bands here in the States. Everybody knows that. So, but generally, summertime is not really a great time, from what I've heard. Now, keep in mind, I haven't been in the hobby that long. Okay, I haven't had access to all the bands until 2016. However, I've spent a lot of time on the radio, a lot of time, and I'm really into the space weather stuff. I've been into it since 2010. So you got an SFI. I've seen the SFI at 200 and the bands be completely closed and the K index low and the A index low. Why? It has been like this since last October. That's like 9 months. What in the frick is going on? Okay, here we go. I don't know how many of you frequent the SWPC site. It's called the Space Weather Prediction Center. Whether you believe in NOAA or not, personally, I don't. I think NOAA is a hoax. Or I should say NASA is a hoax. NASA is a hoax. But the Space Weather Prediction Center has information on it. Type in SWPC, and I'm going to show you the website, and I'm going to show you something, which is really interesting. What it doesn't tell you, unlike QRZ and all these other dumb websites, all right? They're not dumb. I'm just, I'm being a turd. So, what is the one thing that has been happening over and over and over? No, it is not a coronal hole high-speed stream. We all know that once the solar winds get to striking the geomagnetic field of the Earth, if it's up in the 800 kilometers per second realm, yeah, it's going to cause a lot of problems. Can cause problems with communication systems, power grids, stuff like that, right? We all know that. Well, most of us know that. Air traffic control. But what is the primary cause of a, quote, radio blackout? Okay, so when you see poor conditions on those other sites, well, what does that really mean? I'm going to show you what it means, because we had one today, which explains why the bands were crap today all day long. And here's the spitball. Here it is, folks. And we're talking a massive gobber, a big one with a big going down a big tube. I don't claim to know everything. I'm not an expert in this. But logically, in a world where nobody thinks logically anymore, I encourage you to think logically about this. When I present this, think about it. Let me know if I'm wrong. I can take it. And at this point, I'm speculating, but the evidence and the science supports it. I know we live in a world where they say trust the science, and there is no science there to trust. They don't show you anything. I'm going to show you stuff. All right. So there's two factors that I've come across. I've known for a very long time, but I never put it together until just recently. You have what's called X-ray flux and proton flux. I have seen, I'm going to focus primarily on the X-ray flux. This doesn't have anything to do with a coronal hole coming into view. Sending a coronal hole high-speed stream into the Earth's geomagnetic field. I'm not talking about that. That's a whole different thing. This is something that is happening every day, most of the time, multiple times a day. Okay, so the proton flux, I'm really not going to get into. I have seen that recently. I can't remember exactly when. Holy crap. It was through the roof. That was a bad one. I don't understand that much about the proton flux. The X-ray flux, yes. So an X-ray flare, right? So let's just take X-ray out of it. Let's call it a solar flare. A solar flare takes approximately 8 minutes to reach the Earth. Okay, and a geomagnetic storm could take 2 to 3 days, based upon my research. It takes a while, because you're talking about a solar wind that's traveling, let's just say, 800 kilometers per second. Well, the sun's a long ways away, man. It's going to take a while for that to get here, right? A flare can reach the Earth in 8 minutes. So when I show you this, I think this will make sense, because it makes sense to me. So let me pull that up on the screen. This is what I think is going on, and for some reason it's not there, but I can find it. Wait till you see this. I don't know how many of you looked at this today, but this is an ugly freaking scene. Check this out. You want to know, I really believe this is why the bands are crap. And there's Jonathan. Jonathan and I were talking about this, and I will get into the chat. Now, really quick, I'm leaving the comments open because I want this to be a discussion. Because hopefully I can learn something from people who know a lot more than I do about this. Okay, but I'm going to throw this out there. So let's get over to the other screen. I wish they'd stop stomping on the floor upstairs. I'm getting really severely pissed off. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Space Weather Prediction Center. So type in SWPC into a search. It will pop up. Save this to your bookmarks. What did we have in the past 24 hours? Look at this. Excuse me. Maximum in R3 radio blackout. Why? I'm going to show you why. It says region 3341 produces an X 1.1 flare on 20th of June. Okay, this right here, strong radio blackout HF event. R3 level flare occurred on the 20th June UTC day. What the heck does that mean? Well, let's scroll down here and take a look. Look at that, would you please? Here's my point. If you look at this graph on the right-hand side, look at what the current K index is at a 1.67. I don't know what the A index is. It's most likely fairly low. It may be sub 10, maybe around 10. I don't know. proton flux. I have seen this in the past few weeks. I can't remember when it was. It was up here above the 10 MeV warning threshold. Look at where it is right now. That's normal. That's good. Right there. I've seen that completely smoked, right? What I want you to pay attention to is this bad boy. Look at this crap. Now we got June 18th, June 19th, June 20th. Now I looked for a history so I could go back in time and look at every day. I could not find it. Maybe you guys can find it. Do a little research. Let's just take a peek. This right here, this box, this row is an M class. Okay. This box up here is an X class. Now, basically, an X-ray, a flare will shut down communications. It'll screw the bands up. But usually, it'll recover. It can recover fairly quick, as opposed to a high-speed stream from a coronal hole, which lasts for days, which will put the K index. It'll screw up the geomagnetic field. If you get a K5 to K7 in the northern part of the northern hemisphere, it could screw the bands up for 10 days. If it's sustained, if it comes in and it hits and just stays like that for 3 days, 4 days, it can really make a mess out of the bands, right? However, let me just put a caveat to that really quick. I was told by a friend of mine, he's an astrophysicist, brilliant guy, smartest guy I've ever met. And I trust him because he's never lied. He said, don't shut the radio off during a severe geomagnetic storm. Let it idle. And he said, track it and watch it. He said, when it starts to settle down, oftentimes you'll see very bizarre openings. Not bizarre, but you'll see interesting openings to different areas as the storm is subsiding and the geomagnetic field is in the process of beginning to stabilize. I have proven him correct more times than I can freaking count. That is a fact. He is absolutely right on that. Try it. Check it out. Listen. Don't shut the radio off. Leave it on. If it's forecast to be over at a certain time, get that radio on and listen. Get your beams going. So what we're looking at here is the expanded graph of the X-ray flux. 1 minute data. All right, so we've got June 18th, June 19th, June 20th. Now, if you look at this, so June 18th, right? What do we got? This is 8. What do we got? 18th, so that's 35 minutes, 3500 Z, which Eastern Standard Time, that would be roughly 8:35 in the evening. Guess what? We had an M-class flare. Stay with me here, folks. We had some very minor bumps of C-class flares, right? If you look in here, we had a very strong M-class flare. Now, this was at, what is that? 1350. So this was in the morning. Okay. Yeah, the time is down here. So I should have looked at that. 1350. Okay, so that's 2 M-class flares in a 24-hour period. Think about that. Now let's go to the 19th. 1, 2, moderate C-class flare. So we had a strong C-class flare flanked by a M-class flare with another M-class flare. That's 1, 2, 3. And then we had I would say a moderate C-class flare with steady flaring after that. And then it just she kind of settles down. Now, if we go to, okay, that's a 24-hour period right there, folks. 1, 2, 3, technically 4, with a pretty disturbed flare situation immediately following that last one. One day. Let's go to the 20th. Look at this. The day starts out with a moderate C-class flare, another one on its heels, a third one on its heels with a weaker low to moderate C-class flare, and then we got freaking slammed. Look at this. M-class. No, I'm sorry, C-class, 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 M-class, M-class, X-class. This period right here was total freaking destruction. And I mean epic destruction today. You wonder why the bands are a freaking pancake? There you go, folks. Okay, here's the catch. This is what I'm going to throw at you guys. So what's the difference? What do you think the difference is between, most of you guys probably already know this, but there's a lot of guys, I'm doing this because I hear so much on the bands, people just don't understand what's going on. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. And no, it's not a conspiracy theory. After seeing this, it's not a conspiracy theory. This is not even a theory. I believe this is fact. This is what's going on. I would challenge you guys to prove me wrong. Hopefully there's somebody who knows a hell of a lot more about this than I do. And I don't want people to, this is a spitball, but I encourage you guys to do some homework and maybe you can help me out in understanding this. This is what I think is going on. Why are the bands closed during the day and open at night? Think about this. In the world where logic has waved bye-bye 3 years ago, bye-bye, see ya. Nobody's using their friggin' noggin. Use your brains. We need to use our brains. Logic. Logically, what is different about daytime and nighttime? Obviously, it's daylight and night. If a solar flare takes 8 minutes to get here, right? That means any time the part of the earth that I'm on is facing the sun, when that flare hits, it's going to shut down communications. Right? So for some reason, I can't escape this. How do I get out of it? Are you kidding? Let me just go back here quick. So anytime the earth is in daylight, that means it's facing the sun. So we get a flare and it comes screaming in 8 minutes later and crushes us. And if you remember, look at this, R3 radio blackout. That's severe, folks. That's bad. I believe the scale goes from 0 to 3. In other words, nothing, 1, 2, and 3 levels, radio blackout. 3 is the most extreme, most severe. I believe. It could be, now that one I could be mistaken on. I've never seen anything stronger than an R3. So to me, logically, the reason why the bands are closed here during the day, looking at the number of X-ray flares we are getting right here, look at this. This is madness. And these are bad. An M-class flare is bad. This was an X-class flare. So, X-class flare is really bad. Have you noticed? Notice that there's nothing above X-class flare. You know why? Because if you actually crest the X-class flare, we're probably dead. There's a good possibility that we're all going to be dead. So that tells you how bad that is, right? So in my mind, it makes perfect sense logically that the reason why the bands are so bad during the day is because the earth is this part of the earth is facing the sun, and we are being constantly slaughtered by X-ray flares. All right, deductive reasoning. Do with it what you will. I'm going to go over to the chat here. That's all I got, but I'm going to read down through the chat, and it looks fairly busy. And say hello to Daniel. Paul. Yeah, remember that, Mikey? Wall to wall on 10 meters. Remember that? Last October? I have not seen that again. The only thing I ever see on 10 meters is just a little tiny, just a little tiny bump. That's all I've seen for months. For literal months up here. It's terrible. Paul. Andy. There's Glenn. Glenn disputes this, but I don't think Glenn knows what he's talking about. I want to hear from you guys. He's going to dispute this. But you can't deny the science. You can't deny the facts. I want to know if I'm crazy or not. There is a reason why this is happening. So I'll see if there's any comments in here that are constructive. Probably not, because this is all stupid. There's GB26. What's going on, you goon? Glenn says the SFI is leaking out the ozone holes. Okay, see, Ron, this is my point. They're an issue the last couple of days. I'm telling you, the shorter wavelengths have been crap since last October. That's why I have to get my hands on a history chart of every day, every week for the past few months. I think it would be really fascinating. You guys, see if you can find that. See if you can locate one. I looked and looked and looked. I could not locate one, but it may be the way I'm searching. See, there's the catch. Still, I had VU7W on 17 meters in the early evening. See, you guys pay attention to that. Ron, what's the catch right there? The early evening. He didn't have it at 12 noon. You're not going to have it at 12 noon. Depending on where you are on the earth and when those flares are hitting, right? If you're in full daylight and you get smoked with a flare, guess what? If you got an R1 to R3 radio blackout, most likely it's going to be pretty nasty. Daniel, if that's right now, well, you're in darkness right now, right? So it's, it's 11 o'clock at night. That's my point. There you go. The evidence is building. Ron, 17 also open now. Evidence is building. There you go. 6 meters. I haven't checked. I don't 6 meters here sucks. I do have an antenna up now, but hey Nick, band still totally still dead in VE2 land. See? We're still in daylight. VE2 is right north of me. Nick, I'm not sure where you're at. Are you out over in well, you may be a little bit ahead, so it may be getting darker quicker, a little bit quicker for you. I don't know if you're in Newfoundland. That'd be one land, right? VE1. VE2, I know there's a lot of VE2s are like Prince Edward Island, right? Stuff like that. Yep, just about gray line. Same here, Daniel. So gray line here. Yeah. See, you guys are proving my point. You're proving my point. But I'm just trying to come up with a way to come up with an explanation for it because I need to understand. I'm obsessed with this. Montreal. Okay, so you're just north of me. Yep. Let's see. So you're literally like 120 miles north of me, Nick. Because I'm right down here, about a third of the way up the state in western Vermont. Montreal's like right over the border from me. What's up, John? ONAEI. So that's all I got, you guys. I don't know. I'm going to head upstairs and get some dinner. But this is interesting stuff. It is to me. I've been fascinated by this since 2010. And boy, I went deep. I was in deep in 2010. I tracked this stuff. I watched it like a hawk. But see, again, I don't pay any attention to the crap on QRZ in these other sites because it doesn't explain everything I need to know. You know, I'll use those as well. But this site is a great site. It really is. It'll give you a very good indication of what to expect. Plus, they have, let me show you this. They have the 3-day geomagnetic forecast. They have the 27-day outlook for the 10.7 centimeter radial flux. Very important for the shorter wavelengths. The 3-day forecast, they have forecast discussions. It's a great resource right here. Whether they're right all the time, I tend to take that all with a grain of salt. I really do. And I've heard 10 meters is open at night. I have heard that. You know, I'll just end it with this. What is happening now that's different than back in, let's say, the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Now, I have a friend. He's been in the hobby a very long time, 30 plus years. He said there was a time, not days, but there was a time, and we've all heard about it, where you could work the world on a piece of string. He never, ever, ever ran more than a fan dipole. Ever. 100 watts, never ran power. He said SFI was at 200, and it was it was like the CQ Worldwide contest on 20 meters every freaking day. True. This is a while ago. Yeah, there were down times when you get smoked, you know what I mean, with a coronal hole, but maybe a flare here or there. But what's different? What's different? How could the SFI be at 160 to 200 and the A and the K be so low, and yet the bands are closed? I think we know the answer to that now, don't we? We'll see y'all later. Oh, yeah, Ron. I was just talking to Jonathan about that on Discord. You guys want to jump on Discord? Get on there. I'll actually put the link in this video too. Jump on there and have a yacker. It's nothing. We aren't doing anything serious on there anymore. It's all just people, all of us getting together and having a good yacker. We can shoot spitballs at each other. How's that? Yeah. So anyways, I got to go upstairs. I'm done. You guys have a great evening. Good to see you all. This has been an engaging stream, so this is really nice. Appreciate y'all checking in. Appreciate the support on the channel. Had some great feedback from Jonathan. The channel has become such an epic cluster. There are a lot of videos on the channel with no organization to them. Very difficult to find things. I don't know how I would do it. To be honest with you, it would take me a year probably. But to place numbers, I was thinking expanding on it, making an index. With I do have some videos and playlists, so they're easier to find, but to find a video is very difficult on the channel. I know that, and I'm sorry. There's a ton of stuff. I think I can tell you. What do we got? Let me open this separately. Channel videos. Where do I get the total number of content? Shoot. 537 videos. Do you guys have any idea how long it would take me? Yeah. Anyways, we'll see y'all later. Have a great evening. Nice to see you. K1 GM.